Dream guest on my podcast? Honestly, let's spice things up. One of my exes. Why am I doing this? Oh my goodness. In April of this year, JoJo Siwa went viral for her song Karma, accompanied by an interesting music video and an overall rebrand that most people have found to be quite embarrassing. YouTubers left and right were releasing video essays hopping on the trend explaining why they think this comeback was an utter failure. A few months after that, in July, JoJo released her entire debut EP titled Guilty Pleasure, consisting of 5 tracks including Karma. And now, all the way in September, I am here to give you my thoughts on it, which I know you all have so earnestly been waiting for. I mean, her music video for Karma almost has as many views as Taylor Swift's. JoJo is a certified pop girl. This is certainly an album everyone must be talking about. Oh wow. So yeah, considering I haven't really seen anyone talking about this album, I think it's pretty clear that Karma was just a singular moment where JoJo took the internet by storm with her sea monster look, provocative choreography, and embarrassing public interviews.
I am the first in the generation. It is very scary, but someone's gotta do it.
Bruh.
But after the craze over this rebrand died down, no one really cares anymore. And I never really thought about making a video on this until I saw a response to my unpopular opinions Google form explicitly asking me to do a video on this EP saying that it's not that bad. I was so shocked by this comment that I really did sit my ass down and listen to this EP because, well, it's only 5 songs. I figured I could power through it quickly and see if this person was right. Is this an album worth checking out? And, well, it's not terrible. I guess it would be fair and fitting to say this EP isn't that bad, but JoJo already set the bar very low for herself with the abysmal rebrand that was Karma. So sure, I guess it's not that bad. It's also not very good. So in this video, I will be giving you my honest review of Guilty Pleasure and going through this album song by song, giving you a quick rundown of what to expect if you wanted to listen to it, which I doubt, so I don't really know why I'm doing this. But whatever, I needed something quick to put out while I comb through all your unpopular opinions because bitch, there are a lot, so this is it. And like I said, there are already tons of videos out there breaking down the rebrand and why it all just comes across as childish and immature, so that's not really the focus of this video, even though it will naturally come up. You guys know that what I enjoy doing on this channel is just talking about music and albums and being critical and analytical from as fair of a lens as possible, so that was my goal going into this review as well. I am going to start with Karma though, because that was the debut, that was the setup for the whole era, and there is quite a lot to unpack that I think is important before getting into the rest of the album, and then we'll go back to the top and go song by song. Okay, are we ready? Grab a snack, have fun, 3, 2, 1, mess. It genuinely took so much physical strength for me to get myself to listen to this song when I went to review this EP. It just kind of sits there at the end, waiting for you as you inch closer and closer through the album's runtime, until you are once again barraged by JoJo's heavily autotuned voice over these lyrics which we've all heard about a million times now. Again, I'm not really concerned with the whole rebrand side of things because there are already so many videos about it, but I wanted to start with Karma to emphasize how it is almost impossible to remove this song from its context. The song alone, as a standalone, wouldn't be that bad, but because of the rebrand and context in which it exists, this song is almost impossible to listen to. If you don't remember, it was revealed soon after the release of this song that it was not actually written by JoJo as she so claimed, but rather it was originally made for and demoed by singer Britt Smith all the way back in 2012. And here's the thing, a lot of people were up in arms about JoJo and her team stealing music when I don't think that's really the issue here. It's very common for songs to be written by or for certain artists, have those artists demo them, and then those demos for some reason get scrapped and the song gets passed on to another artist instead. A great example is The Middle, which ended up being by Maren Morris, but was demoed by 12 really popular singers, including Camila Cabello, Demi Lovato, Bibi Rexha, and more before it landed on Maren Morris, and then became a hit. So the simple fact that JoJo debuted her music career with a song originally by another artist is not really the issue here. The first issue comes from the fact that JoJo went around claiming that she wrote the song about her own ex, which we now know is not true, so yikes. But the second issue on top of that, and what really seals the deal on this song, is how JoJo is using it to push her rebrand. When you just look at the lyrics, Karma is a song about cheating or doing some wrong to your partner, and then having that same hurt done to you later in another relationship, which is the karma coming around to get you back. Whether the singer of the song herself experienced this or not doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, music and songwriting is just a form of storytelling, whether it's the singer's story or another ghostwriter's story, or even if it's just totally made up. What matters is how that story is delivered, which is the biggest issue with JoJo's usage of this song. Instead of just being a song about relationship drama that JoJo put her name on and pushed forth as her song, she and her team entirely tried to repurpose this song into being about the rebrand itself, with JoJo trying to emphasize over and over and over again how she is transitioning into a more adult career. Lyrics like "I was a bad girl, I did some bad things," and "I was a wild child" are now about JoJo trying to showcase how she's not this kid-friendly persona anymore, instead of just being about what the song is originally about. But because JoJo is not actually a bad girl, these lyrics come across as so incredibly silly in this new context. For most of her life, JoJo has been one of the most loved and appreciated icons for young girls, and more recently was really widely appreciated for her coming out story. This is just silly. Why are you taking a costume from your music video and wearing it to public events and interviews as if you are an actual sea monster? Why are you calling this the most dramatic shift that any artist has made when you didn't even write the damn song? Why is this choreography so bad? Like, oh my goodness. JoJo is a professionally trained dancer. We know she can do so much better than this. What is going on? At first, when it was revealed that this was originally a Brit Smith song, and then that version went viral and everyone started loving it, I honestly was kind of confused. People were clowning JoJo for this song, and not just for the rebrand, but saying the lyrics were bad, the song is cheesy, and we're just calling it a bad song. So how can the song suddenly become good when it's by another artist? What I've realized though is that context really matters here. When you listen to Brit Smith's version, the original hurt and guilt of the song comes across. Brit Smith is not pushing this song with some ginormous rebrand, and you can believe she has experienced the things she's singing about because she's delivering the song with the emotions and visuals required of it. When you listen to JoJo's version, you feel like you're listening to a child learning how to say a swear word for the first time. What I'm trying to point out is that it's truly very difficult to remove this song from its context and give it an honest, fair review. But even my best attempt at that still left this song feeling very lackluster. The story and lyrics are fine, as we just talked about, but JoJo's vocal delivery is pretty bland and boring, with this really loud, aggressive production throughout the entire thing that is necessary to hold your attention. The original version with Brit Smith has a wildly different instrumental that's much more laid back and honestly sounds 10 times better than this, because it allows Brit Smith's vocal texture and delivery to shine through. But there is no really unique vocal texture in JoJo's voice to shine through. Literally, there are like 2 ad-libs in the second chorus that they just repeat again later in the song because it was probably very difficult to even get those sounding good. JoJo herself has admitted that she is not a singer.
Like I said, I will never ever claim to be a singer.
Yeah.
But I will claim to be an artist.
Okay.
And honestly, Karma as a song is somewhat vocally demanding, unlike most of the others on this EP, which makes this not the best listening experience. So yeah, this is a bad debut single. But you guys all already knew that. That's why I wanted to get it out of the way first, so now we can go through the other tracks, which most of you probably have not heard at all, and see if they're any good. Guilty pleasure. Wait a second, do I like this one? Yes, you heard that right. Guilty Pleasure, the first track on this EP and the title track, is actually kind of good. It's nothing crazy, obviously, and the song is largely carried by the production, as is this entire EP, but I can get by with it. JoJo's flat vocal delivery here isn't really as much of an issue because the beat drop is quite good in my opinion, and I don't know, there's something about JoJo's voice that seems to actually kind of fit this song. I don't know, maybe my brain is rotting. Like, I genuinely have re-listened to this song for actual entertainment reasons, and I might come back to it in the comfort of my home when I know I won't get stopped by a random influencer asking me what I'm listening to right now.
What song are you listening to?
Oh, now we gotta go?
And I spend most of my time on a college campus, so that's a high risk I run. One thing I will say is that there's barely any vocal range on this song because, like we've been over, JoJo is not a singer. Like, ooh, she was reaching for those notes in the pre-chorus. Make your dreams come to life. And I'm supposed to believe she hit that run in Karma naturally? Oh my god, she's raspy today. Girl, she's raspy every day, let's be for real. And I could say I wish she did something more interesting with the final chorus and had even just like one ad-lib rather than just repeating the same exact beat drop, but I don't know if she can even do that. And honestly, I was just hoping to ascertain some mild enjoyment from at least one song on this album, so I'll take what I can get. Then I realized this was the second single from the EP, so I went to check the accompanying music video, which instantly made me regret ever even starting a YouTube channel. Seriously, what is going on here?
JoJo, have you learned nothing?
Well, it seems JoJo has learned nothing. Her team has learned something. That they profit immensely off of embarrassing JoJo Siwa. Like, they 100% know how stupid she looks here, and yet here she is rubbing up on this poor girl like there's no tomorrow, and they fully put this on the internet because they know people would share it all over Instagram and TikTok to embarrass JoJo, allowing them to earn that sweet, sweet ad revenue. Watching this video, I can definitely feel the guilty part. I'm not too sure about the pleasure though. And in an attempt to preserve my enjoyment of the song itself, I'm going to try my best to erase this music video from my memory, but I already anticipate issues when I have to edit this. Why do I do this to myself?
Baby, baby,
Balance Baby is literally just a dupe of guilty pleasure. I mean, JoJo is already great at copying other people's music, so why not just copy herself while she's at it? The tempo is the same. The beat is the same, the vocals are the same. Again, the production is pretty solid, admittedly. The beat drop is a pretty standard club song beat drop, and I don't know, I kind of like it. So if you took just the instrumental out of the song, I could see myself putting it on in the background of something else. But taken as a full song on this album, the vocal delivery is once again bland, the lyrics are once again pretty silly, and the whole thing is just lackluster. There's no unique sound here, there's no appeal, it's all just recycled content from other better artists, as JoJo desperately tries to show everyone how much of an adult grown-up girl she is because she twerks in the bedroom, I guess. If I haven't made it clear by now, since JoJo is not actually a musician, nor does she have any awareness of the industry that she wants to be a part of, her team has to find other ways to form her niche and her unique appeal that would make people pay any attention to her music. And it seems the only thing they could come up with is having JoJo embarrass herself as much as possible. Which is why ultimately these other songs on this album that aren't attached to anything else other than just being generic pop songs get pretty boring.
Yesterday's, tomorrow's, today.
Okay, wait, so yesterday's, tomorrow's, today. Is that... No, that can't be right? Because if we're looking at tomorrow, if you're saying tomorrow's today, and it's tomorrow, wouldn't that just be tomorrow? Like, how are we going back in time to yesterday? In all honesty, I understand the idea of this title, but I feel like the more accurate title would have been today's, tomorrow's, yesterday. You know, because that actually works. But I guess that didn't fit into the rigid meter they have her sing, once again in this bland, monotone voice. This song honestly brought me the most entertainment out of any on this EP though, solely because of the genius annotations on it. I was curious to see if anyone actually put in the time to analyze the lyrics on this album. Instead, I found these absolutely hilarious comments that had me cackling in my room at 3 a.m. Sometimes it's hard to breathe. JoJo is talking about her asthma. I think I failed. I have a headache now. No, same, because what is this title? I will say I do actually kind of like the lyric, feels like I've been here before. I think they call it deja vu. That's about it. I laughed out loud when I first heard you'll be dead or at best you'll be old and gray because I just had to laugh. And like, yeah, I guess the beat drop is once again pretty catchy, but that's not really saying much. That doesn't make this a good song because there's still a whole rest of the song surrounding that beat drop and the whole thing just comes across once again as bland and generic.
'Cause when you told your lover, that's when you choose your fighter.
Okay, wait, this one is kinda decent.
JoJo Siwa is receiving even more backlash for apparently stealing another artist's song.
Oh, god damn it. So yeah, this is another song that JoJo didn't actually write or sing or do really anything for. Again, this kind of passing of songs from one artist to another really is quite common in music and not this terrible sin that JoJo and her team committed. The original artist Emmeline is credited for writing and having vocals on the song as well. It's just in the context of everything that went down with Karma, it just again feels inauthentic and embarrassing. What's even worse is when you realize that on this debut album with 5 songs, 2 of them are just recycled tracks from other artists. That's not really a good look when almost half of your debut album isn't even your own content. I mean, the song at hand isn't terrible and it's not soured by a terrible music video or anything, but I don't know, it's just kind of boring. Like, honestly, even the better version of this song by Emmeline is probably not something I'd go back and listen to, but that's just me. This kind of song just doesn't really do it for me. That's about it.
Oh my god, she's raspy today.
Overall, this EP is not terrible, but in my opinion, it's just not anything special. I do actually like Guilty Pleasure, like I said, but I would consider that the only truly good song on this album, and it barely makes the cut. Everything else is either pretty bland and generic, or has just been done better by other artists. And here's the thing, it's very easy to clown on JoJo Siwa as so many other people have been doing online for the last few months. And honestly, I feel like going through the songs, I've just been cracking jokes the whole time, but I do make it a priority to be genuine on this channel and give a fair chance, especially because I never want to make fun of someone for the kind of music they listen to. If you genuinely like this EP, that's great. I'm glad you found new music to listen to that you can enjoy. But in the spirit of giving my honest review, here's what I have to say. To me, the main takeaway from this EP more than anything else is that JoJo Siwa cannot carry a song by herself. Like I've said, these songs are largely carried by their production and beat drops. In fact, the two songs on this album where the choruses aren't just beat drops are the two songs originally done by other artists. And really, this issue stems primarily from the fact that JoJo is not a good singer, which, if you want to make music and be a singer on that music, is kind of an important step. I don't think this album is terrible by any means, but because JoJo doesn't really have a unique voice people would want to listen to, she requires a ton of autotune to get her on the right notes, and she doesn't actually write any of the music even though she claims to. These songs have to be entirely carried by the production, which, for the record, is quite solid. There are clearly talented people working on this EP, and I think the sound is pretty adjacent to like this pop club sphere that it seems JoJo wants to enter. Like, if there was a version of this EP with just the instrumentals, I could see myself putting it on in the background. It's just sad that even with a team of talented people behind her and a vast amount of resources to promote and put out her work, JoJo isn't actually trying nearly as hard as she needs to be. I think if she really wants to be successful, she needs to actually take some time to train her voice, write some songs, and learn more about the industry, specifically the realm of gay pop and the artists who came before her who actually innovated the genres that she is trying to recreate. More than anything, revisiting this whole rebrand and era made me feel kind of bad for JoJo. It's clear she's been somewhat frozen at a very young age ever since she became super famous and in the spotlight, and she doesn't realize just how genuinely embarrassing some of the things she says and does are.
It's called gay pop. And they were like, what's that? And I was like, it's like K-pop, right? But it's gay pop.
Because she's still growing up, she's still learning about herself, her sexuality, if she enjoys music and the kind of content she wants to keep putting out for her very large audience that always has eyes on her. Naturally, that's gonna lead to some embarrassing shit, but it seems like the people around her would rather use that embarrassment for profit than actually try to get her to be serious about her craft. I think JoJo certainly has the potential to listen to the criticism she's gotten, refine her music, and come back with a better album, taking those quality elements to their most realized potential. But it's more likely than not that she did this for fun, with no intention of being serious, and her team just wanted her to be as provocative as possible for the sake of clicks and momentary fame. And with that, that is all for this review. Anyways, I'm gonna go listen to Guilty Pleasure now because it's been stuck in my head the entire time writing this script. I am scared for what I have done to myself. Okay, bye!